So, Dennis, just drill down a bit into that, why she's unpopular, you say, in areas like the Hunter, and how could, and I also want to get your thoughts on, assuming Dominic Perrottet does land the gig, how on earth having Matt Kean there, surely that would just exacerbate the problem in places like the Hunter?
Well, the problem with the Hunter and the regional areas, it was Gladys Berejiklian's decision to take vaccines which had been nominated and sent to the regions, brought back to Sydney for HSC students in Sydney. This was a very unpopular decision in the Hunter. And of course, this is a key seat. The Liberals are hoping federally to take the seat of Hunter with Joel Fitzgibbon retiring. He almost lost it last time. And the Liberal brand was suffering in these areas. In the western suburbs of Sydney, there has been a feeling of two sides of Sydney, where in the eastern suburbs things weren't so badly locked down under Gladys Berejiklian, but in the west and the southwest particularly, there is a great deal of anger towards Gladys Berejiklian. I don't think that the lead she has taken in a policy sense necessarily translated in a positive way uniformly across New South Wales. And I think that this will help the feds when they try to run in Western Sydney, southwestern Sydney, and on the Hunter and Central Coast.
Now, Dennis, I also, the other big news, which should have been the big news of the day, was Scott Morrison's cabinet reshuffle, minor cabinet reshuffle. But we've seen people like Tim Wilson promoted. We've seen Angus Taylor getting an expanded role. This is all in the wake of Christian Porter going. Give us your thoughts on if this is a good move by Scott Morrison. Is it not really any big change? It gets Alex Hawke into the ministry and his mates around him. What's the real meaning of this reshuffle, Dennis?
Look, I think this is a very John Howard shuffle. It's a minimal shuffle. He's had the advantage that it hasn't had to occur straight after Christian Porter went. He had the trip overseas intervening. And so what he's announced today just looks like, it's a bit of housekeeping. It's not that we've actually lost a cabinet minister.
Yeah.
We're just filling the roles. Now, I think mechanically he's done a good job, particularly after the AUKUS decision and the quadrilateral agreement coming out of Washington last week, where there was a great deal of emphasis on technology, on supply chains and exports and imports in Asia. So I think that by splitting the industry and science and technology portfolios, assigning them to the defence industry and to Angus Taylor, I think that is a smart move. It limits the amount of movement. Alex Hawke, a New South Welshman, gets promoted, so that's good. Immigration and security are going to be issues, just as national security is going to be an issue. And Tim Wilson is promoted so that somebody who has missed out previously and may have been a bit of a squeaky wheel has now got a front bench position, assistant minister position. And so, for that, he's got to be a bit quiet now. So I think overall, there's a bit of an advantage from the misfortune of Christian Porter. Scott Morrison's actually turned this to his advantage. It's not huge. It doesn't mean a great deal, but I think in what he has done, he's done it well.
And Dennis, we've only got a short time left, but your thoughts on this opening of the borders and the idea that international borders may well be open for some people before internal borders are?
Well, look, I think that should have been the big story of the day. Of course, Gladys Berejiklian swamped that. But what we are seeing here is a great psychological boost to the Australian population. People have wanted to travel. Getting double vaxxed has been one of the incentives to go travelling. And I think what the point here, the political point for Scott Morrison, is he is making that exact point that you just made, that if people in Western Australia see people in New South Wales going to Bali or Fiji for their holidays, they're going to say, why can't we? People in Queensland tourist operators seeing New South Wales people going to Fiji for holidays instead of Queensland. This puts pressure on Anastasia Palaszczuk and Mark McGowan, not to mention the prospect of maybe missing a cricket test during the Ashes tour. That's the internal politics of opening the international border.
Dennis, fascinating day. Dennis Shanahan, thanks so much for giving us your invaluable insights on an extraordinary day in Australian politics. Thank you.